How crazy is it that we don't build the roof first? Because we understand the importance of getting the house established is the foundation, which is support. So a lot of you are trying to be the roof first. Everybody wants to be the roof. Everybody wants to be on top. Everybody wants to be the boss, the CEO, and there's nothing wrong with it. You just have to make sure your plan of purpose has the strand of success in it. And if what you were created to do never has name and lights or success or a bunch of people knowing your name, you need to be content with that, because you're going to be frustrated trying to get paid to be somebody or something that you're not, ill-equipped to handle what comes along with being the CEO and the boss. And the problem with being the boss and the CEO, if you're not equipped for that, then you're not going to know what the support looks like. You're not going to know who to employ under you, because you're not even fit to be in the role. Stop worrying about if my name is known, if I'm this, if I'm that. Let's normalize people going to do what they love and making a living from it. If you're your first hire as a CEO, you're bound to fail early, because you have to build infrastructure. And CEOs, bosses, chief executive officers, whatever you want to call them, we need the support of the people that understand how it's supposed to happen. I was talking to a person today. I said, one of the biggest things of a assistant to a boss is they have to know how to manage the person and the personality. You won't find a boss, female or male, that does not have a sharp assistant. And sometimes that assistant has to say, that's not what we're doing, because this is the plan and this is your schedule, and I can't move anything else around. Because I, as a CEO, I will blurt out things that I need and say, hey, we need to get this done, we need to get that done. But I also just gave them a schedule 2 weeks ago that's jam-packed. So now you either want us to move everything you said you wanted last week, or we have to say, no, that's not going to work, and we need some time to get that done. Without infrastructure and support, I don't have the foresight to be able to see that. So my support people, this is for my support people. I'm not talking to CEOs tonight. I'm not talking to bosses tonight. I'm talking about the people that are up late. I'm talking about the people that sometimes you never get recognized. I'm talking to the people that are holding up major corporations. And that could be a corporation of family. That could be a corporation of business. That could be a corporation of entrepreneurship. If you are in a support role, human resources, anything that deals with bridging an entire organization, we thank you. I want to normalize you guys being the real heroes, because often everybody says if you're not a boss, you're not doing anything. That's a lie. That's an absolute lie. It's the people that actually gird the mission of the person that everybody thinks is the smartest person in the room. I can't function without support. I can't function without support. I have vision for everything that I have my hands in. I have plans for everything that I have my hand in, but I can't do and carry out every assignment that needs to be done, because I have persons around me that understand time management, that understands we need reviews before we can put this content out, that understands there are things that we have to get done before you can do that. I can't just run out and just do everything that comes to mind. I need support. So if you're on here tonight, and if you're watching this live and you just happen to stumble across this live, or a friend sent you this live, I want to say thank you to the supporters. We say that all the time, and that's usually the last thing we say at the end of a program, at the end of a movie, at the end of a huge campaign. I want to say thank you to all my supporters. But let me help you understand something. The supporters are the first people on the ground, because you can't build a house without foundation. So to all the supporters, thank you. Because you have been making lives of major corporations work for years. And oftentimes it's overlooked because your name is not on it. Let me help you understand. Your name being on it is one thing, but your mind being in it is another thing. My name may not be on it, but my mind is in it. And that, ladies and gentlemen, pays. Because we pay for ideas. Your blueprint to success does not have a strain of fame. And your name does not always have to be in lights. You don't always have to be the founder. You don't always have to be the team leader. You don't always have to be the most sellingest agent in the company. You don't have to have the numbers of 10 and 20 million sales every quarter. If your family is doing well, your health is well, your bills are paid, you are enjoying life, I applaud that. Because the pressures and the stress of CEO and boss, they're not light. So you have to understand that being in a support role is major. It's absolutely major. Pole position is something that's in Formula One, and that usually guarantees you a spot depending on how well you qualify, right? 40% of wins in Formula One have been won from the position of pole. That simply means when you are in line with what you're supposed to be doing, then your success is imminent. It's going to happen. Because you're where you're supposed to be. And when you get to where you're supposed to be, things just flow better. You don't have to force purpose. You just have to push consistency. You don't have to force purpose. You just have to push discipline. You don't have to force purpose. Push consistency and push discipline. Because when you're doing what you're supposed to do, it's easy. We can be a 5 in something that we were not created to do, being popular. Or we can be a 10 in our purpose. Find your purpose. And if that purpose does not have a strand of success or fame, then be okay with that. Because you're needed. You're needed. I want to thank my supporters. Can y'all put that on the screen? Hashtag I want to thank my supporters. Too often, everybody says, oh, I got to be the boss. I founded this. I got it out the mud. Sometimes, let somebody else get it out the mud, clean it off, and then you manage it. Because sometimes getting it out the mud is a lot harder than keeping it from being dirty. Yeah. Sometimes getting it out the mud is harder than keeping it from getting dirty. I want to thank my supporters. That's all. I appreciate it. From a CEO to supporters. To the people that hold up everything. So personally, I want to thank my support. And you say, well, I don't own a company. I'm not a CEO. I don't own a business. There are supporters in your life. There's somebody responsible for getting you to where you are. If you're on this live tonight at 10:25, there's something inside of you that gives you the drive that most people don't have. That was not taught. That was learned. Somebody instilled or drew that out of you. Somebody educated that out of you. Remember, educate means to draw out, not to put in. So if you're doing well, God has blessed you to have a family, to raise a family, to go to work, to make an honest living, call somebody tomorrow or text somebody and say, I want to thank you for being my supporter. There's some supporters that got you to where you are. I want to thank my supporters. That's all. I appreciate you. Listen, my pulpit is different. I don't speak from an elevated platform, but when I speak, is to elevate you. I hope you have a great night.